Right, so this video is gonna be the Europa League, or my Europa League and Champions League predictions that are coming this week, I believe, or the coming week, because I'm recording this on Friday, so very early. I'm not sure when I'm gonna upload it, but this is actually a very early-ish video that I'm gonna make, and I'm making it during the day. Normally I make it during the night for personal reasons, but anyways, yeah, this is just gonna be a little overview and the recent form that all the teams have had, both in the Europa League and in their respective domestic leagues. But yeah, to see who I personally think will go through to the finals of the respective competition. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into the Europa League. Okay, so the first matchup in the Europa League is Villarreal versus Arsenal, or Arsenal versus Villarreal. Obviously, I'm wearing the Spanish national team from 2010, the jersey from 2010, and there's no real reason for that. I'm just wearing it because I didn't want to support one team or another. Also because I don't have jerseys of all the teams. But anyways, Arsenal versus Villarreal. Villarreal is a Spanish team, and I am wearing the Spanish national team, but that has nothing to do with it. Both Arsenal and Villarreal are very strong teams, in my opinion. They're both around the same level, in my personal opinion. I think they're just about the same level. Arsenal has more history. Villarreal has good history, but not the best. But, I mean, in their current state, I think Arsenal are just slightly a better team. But that doesn't really mean that they will go through. On the other hand, their form, Arsenal's form, has been worse than Villarreal. Villarreal, they did well in the Europa League in their last round. They got past Ajax, which is pretty good. I thought Ajax was going to go through in that match, but I mean, they played well. They were able to go through, not too easily, but I mean, Villarreal made it through. Kudos to them, and they have a strong shout to win the whole thing. Meanwhile, Arsenal, they haven't been the best of forms, but I mean, they did take down Slavia Praha and Olympiacos with pretty easily, because I mean, they scored quite a few goals. Bukayo Saka was absolutely incredible against Slavia Praha. I remember that. I saw that match. Very good job. Arsenal are linking up together pretty well, in my opinion. So yeah, kudos to them. But in the Premier League, I think they might have the second worst form out of the 4 Europa League teams that are left. Yeah, they haven't been the best. But I mean, they did face some tough opposition. I believe they faced Liverpool and lost 3-0. But beat Tottenham a few weeks ago. But still, based on form, it would seem that Villarreal are the better team. But I feel like just because it's Arsenal in the Europa League, they just seem to go well together. Arsenal have some great talent in the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe, Nicolas Pepe, Bukayo Saka, with the likes of Aubameyang. I'm not sure. I don't think he'll be back for the Europa League semifinals. I'm not too sure about that, but I doubt it. I think he's out for the rest of the season, which kind of sucks because he's one of my favorite players from Arsenal. But yeah, I think they also have Martin Odegaard. I'm not sure if he's out injured or something, but I mean, they've been playing well, kinda. I think they drew against Fulham a week ago, and they're playing Everton, I think, right now as I'm recording. But yeah, but if there's any changes, I think my editor will just put something up in case I get anything wrong or any injury updates that are of importance. But Villarreal, I respect them. They're gonna face Barcelona, my favorite team, in their respective league this Sunday, actually, just before their Arsenal match on Thursday. I don't know, both teams are very strong, but I personally think that Arsenal are gonna go through. Villarreal, you're a very strong team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went through, but my personal opinion is my personal choice would be Arsenal going through. Yeah. Now, for this other match is Manchester United versus Roma. Both very good teams. But I think Manchester United are just a bit better because of their just their past, their history. Compared to Roma's, I think Manchester United are a much bigger club. But just because they're a bigger club does not mean that they'll go through. Like I said before with Arsenal. But still. Okay, if we're looking at the form, Roma have played some pretty tough opposition, and they do have the worst form of the 4 Europa League teams. But, I mean, they did face very tough opposition. I believe they faced Napoli and Atalanta, who are also fighting for top 4 spots, for Champions League spots against Roma. So, it's tough. But I think Roma, while they are a good team, their form hasn't been the best. But, I mean, in Europa League, they did pretty well. I believe they beat Dynamo Kiev? No, Dynamo Zagreb. And they did it with relative ease, I believe. So, good on them. I'm honestly blanking because I think I just got the team wrong. But if I did, editor. Anyways, Manchester United, their form has been quite good, pretty decent, especially in the Premier League. They played really well. They defeated both Milan and Granada in the Europa League with relative ease. I mean, AC Milan was a much tougher opposition in my opinion, and it was a much closer game. But against Granada, they got the job done. They did really well. But even so, Manchester United have been flaky, and even last season in the Europa League, Manchester United, you thought they would win the game, but they didn't. I forgot against who they lost, but again, they didn't. But, I mean, Roma are still a very good team. They have some very good talent. I can't really name them because I don't watch too much of Roma or Italian football in general, but they're still a really good team. I know that for a fact. Manchester United are loaded with talent. The likes of Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, and so many more. But, I mean, if I put it squad versus squad, I'd give it to Manchester United. I feel like Manchester United's squad is just a bit better with more talent. But, I mean, Roma are quite plucky. Plucky meaning that, and, well, yeah, although Roma has had the worst form, I'm going to go for Manchester United to go through. Yep. I'm putting the 2 English clubs through to the final of the Europa League because I feel like they are the 2 stronger teams of the 4. Now, if it was different matchups, I don't know who I would go for, but that's what I'm going for now, Manchester United. Anyways, let's get on to the Champions League. So, Champions League, whew, these matches are good. These matches are really good. First up, we have Real Madrid versus Chelsea. Another Spanish team, my team's arch rivals, versus Chelsea. Another English team. England has been conquering the European scene recently. I mean, at least this season. But, alright, Real Madrid and Chelsea, I think it's a really good matchup. Real Madrid have the better form. They actually, after research, I found out that Real Madrid actually have the best form out of the 4 teams in the Champions League semifinals. You'd expect it to be Manchester City, but it's not. It is Real Madrid. But then again, it is without one match that will be played over this weekend. But anyways, Real Madrid, they have won every single match apart from they have won their last 5 matches apart from a draw against Getafe a week ago, I believe, or last week. I think last weekend, I believe, they drew against Getafe. But, I mean, they've been pretty good. They even beat Barcelona 2-1. While it was quite lucky and a quite lucky win and they defended a lot, I mean, you got to give credit to them. They've been very defensively sound. They've played really well defensively, and that's without their captain, Sergio Ramos. And without Varane for a few games, too. In the Champions League, they took care of Liverpool quite easily, in my opinion. They defended well. They didn't let many goals get past them. And, I mean, even their draw against Getafe, there was no goals involved in that match. So, it's good on them. It shows that they are capable of just stopping attacks and not conceding too many goals, which is really good. Meanwhile, Chelsea have also been really good at defense, but they have had some rather bad luck, especially in the Premier League. I believe they lost 5-2 to West Brom. West Brom is currently in a relegation fight and most likely going to lose that relegation fight. And yet, Chelsea lost to them 5-2. Meanwhile, Chelsea are fighting for Champions League spot. It's confusing. It's weird. But, I mean, Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel, like I said before, they have been very defensive. They have played really well defensively, is what I should say. Meanwhile, their attack has been quite lackluster, despite all their many talents in their offense. They have Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, who admittedly hasn't played the best, but neither of them. Hakim Ziyech is really good, but just hasn't played as well. Christian Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi. I mean, they have a lot of talent up there. And it just sucks that they're not scoring as many goals as, in my personal opinion, they should. I know they've gotten a few 4-0 wins before, but still, it's not nearly as much as I would expect them to. Because they have so much talent up front, but it's crazy. Anyways, Real Madrid versus Chelsea. Oops. Very tough match. Real Madrid have the better form, have the best form out of the 4 semifinalists. Chelsea have the worst form out of the 4 semifinalists. Chelsea did get through with relative ease, but so did Real Madrid, and against tougher opponents. This may be very biased, but I'm going to go with Chelsea. Real Madrid, as good as they are, as talented their team is, as good their form is, I don't see them going through. I don't know why. It's just, pardon the background noises, but it's just something in my head that's saying, no, Real Madrid is not going through. It's Chelsea. To be fair, I think it's quite obvious that it's pure bias, but I think Chelsea are going to go through. Unlucky Real Madrid. I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid go through, because Real Madrid are, in my opinion, a stronger team than Chelsea, but gotta root for the underdog, right? No, it's more biased, but whatever. Let's go on to the next one. PSG versus Manchester City. I really thought it was going to be Bayern versus Manchester City, which, ooh, that would have been a good match, but this is still a very good match. I think the winner of the entire Champions League is one of these two. Whoever wins the semifinals will be the victors. The victors will be victorious in the Champions League, because I believe they're the 2 strongest teams in the competition, still in the competition at least. So, PSG in the Champions League, they took down Bayern and Barcelona. Bayern Munich with, honestly, that was very tough, but they took care of Barcelona quite easily. Even though in the second leg they were lackluster, they still got the job done. They got a draw. And in the first leg, obviously, demolished them. PSG in the Champions League haven't been the best, but I mean, they've got the job done. That's what you can say for them in the Champions League. Meanwhile, in their French league, ooh, they do have some pretty bad form there. I think they lost twice and drew once in their last 5 matches. Again, they have another game to play this weekend. But, I mean, their form hasn't been great. I think it's the 2nd worst out of the 4. Meanwhile, Man City, they've played pretty well in the Premier League. I mean, quite comfortably. They're leading the league by like 11 points, I believe. So it's quite obvious that they're going to win the league unless something disastrous happens, but it's pretty easily for them. But I mean, in the Champions League, they did struggle against Dortmund a little bit, but they got the job done, and it was with relative ease, in my opinion. Although Dortmund played well, massive credit to them. Manchester City just outplayed them. They were just the better team, and it wasn't too hard for them. They've played really well defensively. All of the Champions League teams have played well defensively, in my opinion. Even with so many injuries. Manchester City hasn't experienced too many injuries, apart from Aguero being out constantly. But I think he's back. I think he's back, but he's just not playing because he's not hitting the goals as much as Pep Guardiola wants him to. But anyways, Manchester City's form is quite obviously better than PSG's, and PSG hasn't been the best. They're in second place in the French league, and it's not the best, but still, PSG grinded out victories against the likes of Barcelona and Bayern. Meanwhile, City beat Dortmund, and how did I forget the round of 16 draw? I completely forgot. Editor put the round of 16 draw for Man City and Dortmund right here. I completely forgot. Anyways, that was a draw, and Man City won by that much. Yes, I'm still trying to remember. But yeah, I mean, Man City and PSG are very good teams. They play really well. But I don't know. I really don't know who goes through, because in my humble opinion, I think one of these two will win the Champions League, and it's very tough. I personally root for Man City a little more than PSG. I love both teams, but I personally root for Man City a little more. And I think Manchester City are actually going to make the finals alongside Chelsea. So it'll be an all-English final for both competitions in my own head. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these are changed. But yeah, my prediction is Manchester City. All right, so to close this off, those were my predictions for both Europa League and Champions League. Just put it up on the screen right now, editor, for the Europa League final. And the Champions League final, in my opinion. It's very tough, honestly. It's a very tough. Again, I could see complete upsets or just overall other teams going through. I can see the other teams going through, in my opinion. Real Madrid versus PSG in the final, or Villarreal versus Roma in the final. But this is my personal opinion. I know it's all English. I really don't know why. I'm American. I don't know why I lean towards the English teams. I know they're really good teams, and they have great players that I love personally, but I don't know. I just have a soft spot for them, I guess. But also could be a little biased as a Barcelona fan. But anyways, those were my predictions. Hope you all enjoyed. Lates.